So in the shed here, in my propagator, as you can see the light's on, I've now moved most of the stuff out into the greenhouse, and all I've got left in here now is I've got some lobelia. I'm not sure what's in there, but that's it now. Most of it's now gone into the greenhouse. Oh, let's have a look at my wine. There's the big wine, the sparkly wine I'm making for this year. Give that a turn. Every day I come down here, well, not every day, but every time I come in here I'll give that a turn. Then let's have a quick, well, as we're at it, let's have a look at what we got going here. This is some of this year's wine. It's still bubbling, but very slowly. There we go. That's just done a little bubble then. I think what it is the general temperature has risen outside, and that's brought the temperature up in the shed. My Perrier, look, that's looking good, and that has actually got a very slight fizz in it. Little demo. Come on. Oh, I need 2 fingers for that, and I'm holding up thing. And then there's me last year's up. That's been turned and so on, and now it's upside down. You can see it's got pressure. In fact, there, look, see, that's pushing that out. I'm gonna have to be careful. I might have to push that in and put something, like I did there. I've got a bit of cork in there, look, to make that, to keep that closed up. Anyway, we keep them covered. Let's go and have a look in the greenhouse. Into the greenhouse, because it's raining again. We haven't had enough, have we? Not many, we haven't had enough. Right, let's have a quick squish all round, see? Right, I've got some various tomatoes. That's me beefsteak tomatoes. Then I've got some runner beans. My courgettes. More runner beans, melons, me pumpkins. Oh, I just realised that one's just pushing through. Look, that's the green bush. That's courgette, and I've got a melon up there. Look, and a squash. More tomatoes. I've got different kinds of tomatoes. Gherkins. So things are looking good. There are lots of I've got Moneymaker there. Alsacrade tomatoes. I like Alsacrade. I like plant the two together. That is my attempt at parsnips. It don't look like it's very successful at the moment. Well, who knows? That's not a parsnip that's coming up there. That looks in that tube. And then I've got more gherkins up there. More gherkins up there, that's better. There we go. So that's the greenhouse. Now we're going to skittle up to the allotment now, and have a look around the allotment. Okay, off we go then, even in the rain. Where are we now? 16th of April. Right, we've had a look round in at home and see what we've got coming on. Let's have a quick squidge around the old plot, shall we? The allotment. Right, so a pretty bit. These were the cheap old flowers I bought in the cheap shop. They are looking so absolutely gorgeous. I'm so pleased with those. The hyacinths now are near the end. The daffs are coming out. Some of them are quite interesting, considering I didn't know what it was I was buying. I mean, look at that for a daffodil. How complex is that head? That's lovely, isn't it? Anyway, let's keep going. Let's have a quick squidge round. That's what I said I was doing, having a quick squidge round. The carrots that I sowed really late last year, I'm still pulling carrots. There's just the last few there. The temperature of the soil, let's have a quick look in here, is now just a little bit it's 40, 50, 55 is that, or 13 degrees. So that soil temperature has gone up. 2 days ago that was only 7, maybe 8 degrees. So it's really warming up quick. Our patio area is a mess. That needs a bit tidy up so we can sit here in the spring sunshine. In the club HQ, I've got some that I took cuttings of. It's looking like I'm about 50% successful there. Somebody thought they were doing me a favour and watered them. Apart from that, there's not much going on here at all. The onions, there's my last onion. There's the last few garlics. My chrysanthemum here has survived through the winter, obviously, as other bits. I've got a bit of tumbling rosemary there. Yeah, and the geraniums have survived through, of course. That's the geranium that I was talking about there, not chrysanthemum. Right, so let's have a look at the plot generally. The greenhouse, as you see at home, I've got quite a lot of stuff coming on at home. It's more controllable than down here. In here I've got some broccoli that I've moved on. It looks me like I might have saved one pepper plant through the winter. One. I try to keep about a dozen, but I think it's the only one. The grapevines, remember I grafted some, and somebody asked how did the graft go. It don't look successful. I think I'll need some training. But I've got some parsnips in tubes. It looks like I've got one come up. Last year we had trouble with parsnips. The year before that I was very successful. I was quite pleased with that. I've got some leeks still to be sorted. A lot of these will go up to our community grow scheme up in our north of our city. I've tried some sweet corn that I saved. They only went in last week. Apart from that, there's not much going on in here at all. I've got a bucket there. That is seaweed juice. I've just keep putting seaweed in there. That's comfrey juice, and outside there I've got some nettle juice, and I've left them in here because it dries out, but what it actually does then is concentrates. So there's not much else going on because the weather has now promised to be really good, so a lot of my stuff is gone out. I did quite a bit of planting up yesterday. I prepared the bed there for that was my pepper bed, but I might be swapping it over and using this as a pepper bed. Well, we'll see. I've put a lot of sweet peas in because I want a good show of sweet peas. I'm taking a chance that they're not going to get powdery mildew like they did last year. The garlics, they're looking good. Now that is ordinary Isle of Wight garlic. As I said, last year I bought a new clove, and this is the second year that's off of that, so it looks good. Then I'm trying sweet peas up against this trellis, and then a couple of old chairs someone gave me. Well, hopefully the sweet peas will engulf those, but I'm going to grow some plants up through those. The strawberries, they've had they had addition of bloodfish and bone, and all of the foliage that I got from asparagus last year, I've kept it through the winter, and I've put that round as a straw, to lift the strawberries up, of course. I picked myself some sticks off of a tree that was being looked at, but I can't put them in the ground, they grow. Onions, this is my onion bed here, they're looking good. That is their century. Yeah, I'm trying to read it now. Carrot bed, I haven't done anything with that at all yet. Let's go down the path now and look at the peas. Remember the mice ate most of my peas. Well, I set another lot going really early this year, and look at that, they're just going lovely. Potatoes that were in the greenhouse, I brought them out yesterday because the forecast is for really good. I've stood them on the compost. That compost, it's not really as hot as I'd have liked it. I did turn it over a couple of weeks ago, and it is warm, and so I've put the potatoes around it just to keep them warm. Broad beans, as you can see, they've got flowers on, looking really good, well pleased with that. Then shallots, they're all coming on good. I did find another dozen or so shallots that I hadn't eaten, so I've put them in. They're obviously going to be behind those. They can catch up, don't they? Leeks, I've put my first few leeks out. They need just about see the little whiskers, because it's forecast for rain this afternoon and then really nice weather all week. So I'm going to put some more leeks out. I'm going to put quite a few leeks. And this is the parsnip bed. Well, it's going to be parsnip, a row of parsnip, row of beetroot. And there's my beetroot that I've brought on in a tray. They've only been in that tray probably 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But in the greenhouse, of course. But the last couple of days they've been out because the weather's turned mild, and I'm going to put some in because it's going to rain. It's going to rain this afternoon, and then all week it's going to be fine. So grapevines, I've really gone hard on the grapevines, and hopefully everything's going to be fine. I've rubbed all the bark off. And I don't know if I gave them a coat of lime. I can't remember. I have to look at previous videos. But somebody that I know that does a vineyard in Portugal, they paint their stems with lime. So, and I tried that on this one because we did get powdery mildew. And I've got an hanging basket of strawberries. That's a desperate attempt to keep the strawberries away from the woodlice. And I may today do some more. Then potatoes. I've had this bit of grain covered, and last week I put the temperature of the soil was only 7 or 8 degrees, even with it covered, but it started going up very quick. So I've took a chance and I've put some potatoes in. I've put a bit of sand around each of them so that to discourage the slugs. So there we go. They're in there. That's my early potatoes. That's swift. And then I'm going to put in there, probably this week sometime, I'm going to put in my Myras. Then we're on to our asparagus. They're just beginning to show, look. There. Look at that. In fact, I've got a feeling when I go home this afternoon, there's a few there I'm going to be picking. The cardboard, by the way, is for... it encourages the slugs to come up under the cardboard, and then I can bushwhack them. But I found that I can just turn it over and the robin's on there like a shot. Then I've got a second row of peas here. They went out really early. You have to look at previous videos to see when I did it, because I forget. And then I've prepared my bath again, look, for to grow some melons. In the bottom of that bath is seaweed and horse poo, and then on top of that is potting compost, or compost straight from the compost heap. And I've then I shall put my melons in that. Then there's my sweet grapes, other grapes, black currants, and they've got leaves on. That wild broccoli plant, it's given me such a picking of broccoli, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I don't know where it come from. Then I've prepared another bed here for some more potatoes. That far bed, I haven't decided what to do with that. At the moment it's got a couple of really nice celeries grown in it. Then the cauliflowers, look at this, there he is, he's sitting in there smiling at me, look. That is going to be another 2 days, and that is going to be just the business. And then this all gets prepared. Then this will be another raised bed. Because it'll be the potato bed next year, not this year. This year, I'm not sure what I should use that for. It's a bit spare. Then the rest of the grain, I haven't. It was all double dug in the autumn, and now it will get rotivated sometime this week in preparation for my squash, pumpkins and sweet corn. Then we come along, then I've got my carrot and beetroot, my carrot and parsnip high bed. That's where I'll try and grow the really long carrot and a really long parsnip, but I haven't got any this year. I've got just that one coming on, which I might, if the soil's warm enough, I might bring it out and give it a go. Got to go for it, ain't you? Then there's the onions that went in last year. They're all looking tremendous, as you can see. And then of course my red grapes at this end. As you can see, I've built a couple of shelters. It's to concentrate the sunlight, and because last year it's made a nice full-bodied red. I've only got a gallon out of both of these plants, and some wine that somebody gave me, some grapes that somebody gave me, but it really does look as though it's going to be a good wine. Then the fruit bushes, they're looking good. I've got quite a lot of pollen on the peach tree. The apple and the pear are just beginning to come into blossom, so it's looking good. Then to the pond, we had really good amount of frog spawn, but it's all gone. I did notice that the newts were eating it. There's one small little piece just there. Whether they've been eaten or whether they've actually produced tadpoles and the tadpoles have scurried away, I don't know. Beehives, the bees are still asleep. Well, it is a bit early for them. Well, early this morning. Oh, I've got a woodlice crawling up there. I'm going to try and do something around the legs to stop the woodlice getting up. So there's the plot, generally speaking. Oh, I'll tell you what else I got. What I nearly forgot then is the potatoes in the bins. How about that then? They're all growing, look. Do you remember I had polythene over the top of them? I took polythene off those two and I just rolled it back on the farthest one. So I'm going to get some really early potatoes. So there's the plot, all in all, looking good. Yeah, I'm quite pleased. Even though it's been very, very wet, it's also been cold as well, and it's delayed everything by anything up to 3 weeks. But we'll catch up. Nature does it. So see you all again sometime. Bye for now. Good gardening.